What's your name and where you from?
I'm Charlie Cashtro from Far Rock, America, New York. Currently cutting hair as a master barber, in Atlanta, Georgia. I mean,
All right, what brought you to Atlanta, Georgia?
it sounds cliche, but the opportunity. And the quality of living out here is way better than in town. I mean,
All right, how long have you been a barber?
I've been cutting hair for a long time, man. Since I was probably about 17, I really started cutting hair. I cut in my first shop when I was 20. Got my barber license when I was 21. So I'm 36 now, so you do the math.
How did you start cutting hair?
I started, it's crazy because genetics is real. My father was a barber, and even though I wasn't around my pops much as a child, I just picked up a lot of his habits, a lot of his hobbies. He draw, I draw, So I don't know if subconsciously that made me want to do the same thing, or if I just naturally gravitated towards these things. You know what I'm saying? But my first shop, my cousin Barry, the Don, doing things you like to do. He was cutting in the barbershop on Jamaica Avenue. And I was chilling with him there every day. He was like, "Yo, you should start cutting hair. Man. Get in the shop." The owner of the shop put me in there. I was paying like $50 a week for rent for the first week. Just doing light seasons and dark seasons. And I ain't know how to cut hair, but that's how I started. Light seasons, dark seasons, shape up, simple shit like that. Till I, eventually advanced.
What is your barber pet peeve?
My biggest barber pet peeve is when a nigga keep looking in the mirror trying to tell you how to cut his hair. Like he's a better barber than you. I even heard people say, "I cut my hair all the time. I know what I'm doing. You gotta do it like." All you gotta do is tell me what kind of haircut you want, and let me do the rest, man. That's a big pet peeve of mine, though. Let me do my thing.
What do you think is the hardest type of hair to cut?
Dirty hair. Wash your hair, please. Dirty hair is not fun to cut, and it's not easy to cut. And I offer shampoos, so my new thing is, I will not cut dirty hair. So if you're not willing to get a shampoo and pay the price for the shampoo before I cut your hair, I can't do it. Because it'll mess up the clippers, So yeah, that's hard hair to cut. I love the new wave with people having dreads and just getting tint fades, because it still counts as a whole haircut. See, a lot of people, they got dreads and they just want a little tint fade and they call that a shape up, But that's not a shape up. If I got to do any fading, that counts as a haircut. Shape up is just a line, So that's actually the easiest cut to do, But I love it. The hardest cut, like I said, besides the dirty hair, I think is I don't know. I say with all shears, yeah, a cut with shears, scissors. Doing a full cut with scissors is the hardest.
What do you offer that other barbers don't?
I work in a salon suite unlike a lot of other barbers. Even though it's trending, a lot of barbers are starting to doing it. But I work in a suite, so it's a very intimate environment. Pause, more personal. I got my TV, we listen to music, and my clients, they really trust me. They feel safe with me. Ask me for advice, and just me being me, ain't nobody could be me. Like I said, when I first started cutting, I still had a lot of clients, even though I wasn't that experienced, because people just like sitting in my chair. They like my energy. They like my vibe. What you want me to say? They fucks with me.
Being a barber is very time consuming. How do you balance that with family and personal life?
I like to say boundaries. You have to train your clients to want to understand that you have a life too. A lot of people feel like barbers don't have a life, and we gotta be available 24/7. Although I came from a 24-hour barbershop, I'm now in a suite, and you gotta schedule an appointment. And I make days off. I make my days off. Days off are very important.
Being from the big city, do you feel like you need to move to a big city to grow as a barber?
When you in the city that you grew up in, it's but so far you're gonna grow. So sometimes, most of the time when you in your hometown, you're gonna reach a peak. You cutting family and friends. If you want to decide one day, like, I'm stepping it up, doing my services, and you want to go from $40 to $100 cuts, family and friends is really not going to respect it like that. Man, I'm sorry, but that's just how it is. So a lot of times you got to go to a new city, start new, start fresh, and people will respect it more. You'll get more love by strangers. That's how it works. You don't need to move to a big city to grow. I would say you need to move to a new city to grow. You got to change the scenery. Because I was in the biggest city there is, New York City. And I still left to grow.
Social media versus business cards, which one is more effective?
Woo! That's a good one. Social media versus business cards. That's like old school versus the new school. I grew up, of course I've been learning from the old school when I first started cutting. Now I'm learning from the new school. So it's crazy because that's like a lot of old school barbers ain't with the social media. Like, I ain't with that. Grind it out. If you got your clients, you happy with you doing, so be it. But it's always, social media take you to that next level. Like me, I'm more than a barber. I got my beard oils. I do facials, I do hair color. I'm always willing to learn and do more and share information that I learned to everybody. So.
What advice do you have for new barbers?
Consistency. But consistency is key when you're a new barber. But besides that, I would say focus on customer service. Because, like I said, when I first started, when I was a new barber, a lot of clients came to me, I feel like, just because they fuck with me as a person. When you cutting a person's hair, they're inviting you into their personal space. You all up on them, they pause. But so they really gotta trust you. So you build relationships that way. And when you cutting these clients' hair, They will tell you your business. You're like a therapist. I mean, so you want to focus on providing them with a great experience overall. You know, make sure your environment is a nice environment and try to figure out what the client wants. Some clients want you to talk like a therapist. Some clients want to get their hair cut and get the hell out the chair. You know? You got to understand what kind of client you're dealing with. Because you could lose a client and gain a client by doing the same thing. I mean, depending on what the client wants. So, customer service, man.
Well, what type of effect do you think the hip hop culture has on barber?
Yeah, it affects everything. Fashions. I mean, jewelry we wear, the clothes, and including the hairstyles. You know what I mean, so definitely a major impact. Like the shags. Them Texas niggas wearing them shags. That's hip hop culture, man. Even though the hillbillies men wearing the shags, like Joe Dirt and them niggas. But, yo, they making them shags lit in Texas.
What is your favorite brand of clippers?
You know, my favorite brand is, I gotta say, as a barber OG, you know what I mean? I gotta say Andes, you know? All-time classics, whether it's the Masters, the Andes, T-liners, Andes. I mean, but right now, you know, besides Andes, I'm fucking with Barber. You know, that's the new brand, so I fuck with that too. So Barber is a good brand.
Wireless or wired clippers?
I'm an OG, so nothing has the power as a wired clipper, you know, but just can't beat the convenience with wireless. So I prefer wireless.
Is a hairline ever too far back to be cut?
You know, if it wasn't, I would still have hair, man. But sometimes the shit gotta go, you know. Be like, damn, it's time to go, man. Why am I cutting this? But yeah, man, sometimes it can be too far back.
How important do you think it is to have a license becoming a barber?
Having a license is very important, just for the simple fact you don't want nobody messing up what you got going on, man. You can have a hater just want to shut your shit down, like he getting too much money in there. He don't got his license, so somebody run down, your whole shit shut down, you know what I mean? So you gotta make it legit.
Do you feel like enhancements are cheating?
Ooh, another good one. I mean, enhancements is cheating. I'ma say it if nobody else does, man. Enhancements is cheating, man. Niggas can't cut hair. They put enhancements on it, and it looks good. I mean, you do one swipe of the wrist, or if you're itching, it's a wrap. You know what I mean? Enhancements only supposed to enhance what's already great. You know what I mean? I should set a new rule. New barbers should not use enhancements, man. Make that shit look tight without enhancements. Once you master that, then start using enhancements. That's the new rule. Set by the gutter man, Charlie Cash Cuts. Holla at me.
What do you have to say for people that think wearing a hat is a replacement for a haircut?
You know? Damn, I'm one of those people, man. So what I'm gonna say to myself, man. It is a replacement for a haircut. Keep doing your thing, boy. You know what I mean?
Why do you think barbers insist on cutting their own hair?
Because they don't want to pay for it.
Do you feel like there's a rise of female barbers?
I don't know if there's a rise or if just social media is just putting it out there as, you know what I mean? But yeah, I'm definitely seeing a lot of female barbers. More than ever.
What do you think is the best age to start getting haircuts?
You know, that's a good question. I say a good age for a kid to get his hair cut is probably about 5 years old. You know, cause. But I gotta say though, I do not support the barbers that don't cut kids' hair, man. I'm not down with that. I mean, I cut kids' hair, you know. But I don't really understand why kids' hair is cheaper, because it's actually the hardest hair to cut. Most kids' hair don't stay still. They move around. Then you got the ones that's kicking, snot, spits flying everywhere. You know, it's actually more work, and we do it for less. So I do understand why the people don't cut kids' hair, but it's part of the job, man.
What is your, how do you like to do a fade cut?
Fade cut. I mean, there's multiple ways to do a fade cut, you know. It's all different types of techniques, and I like to experiment with different techniques myself. You know what? Overall, I start from the bottom to the top. Some people fade from top to bottom. Some people just randomly, sporadically blend it. Some people use the no guard technique. You know, I've been experimenting with the no guard technique a lot lately. You know, with certain cuts. You know, but overall, I do my fades from top to bottom. Make the first guideline skin fade with the trimmer. Second guideline with the one that's all the way open. Third guideline 1A all the way open. And blend it out. I mean,
Do you feel like quality trumps time?
see, it's all about understanding your client. Because clients want different things. I mean, you got a lot of clients really don't care about how their haircut looks, believe it or not. You know, they just want to get in and out, get a haircut, and go. Now you got those clients that want their shit finesse and they very picky, you know? So you got to get to know your client and learn what your specific client wants. It's customer service and serve that client. So that's how that works.
Do you remember your first haircut and what was it like?
Damn, what was my first haircut? I think it was DJ. Ooh, excuse me. I think it was Schmucky Schmlag. I mean, I had the Clemens. I remember watching Dougie do it. I was like, yo, I'll do that. I mean, just took the Clemmer. I think it was like a one, just a one all over. Did that. Left a few patches, you know. But yeah, that's probably it. Other than that, I was cutting my own hair. Yeah. I started off with me and my brother.